Hey loves, it's Britt, and in this video I'm continuing my Venus Through the Houses in Synastry series. In this video we're going to talk about what it means to have your Venus falling into someone's third house or their Venus falling into your third house. How does this feel? And this might actually be one of my favorites. Third house and 11th house synastry really gives this feeling of openness and ease and trust and friendship. And with the third house specifically, we feel like, or the Venus person feels like, the house person is someone who can really accept them and they can really share their heart and share their deeper feelings with the house person and be accepted. So right off the bat, there's like a naturalness to this overlay. There's an openness. There's a feeling of like friendship or buddies. So Venus is what we love. It's what we value. It's what we find pleasurable. And the third house person's way of communication and, way of perceiving the world around them is kind of like delightful to the Venus person. That's a really good word for this overlay, is just like delightful. Now, while it's not really romantic, it's definitely not really even a sexual placement, although if a sexual relationship were to develop, this would not hinder it because you would feel really natural and comfortable and be easy to communicate with each other. So it'd be easy to have good sex because you'd be able to say, well, I like this or that and I don't like this or that. And there's this real ease in being able to communicate like just about anything, like preferences, desires, what we love. Like there is a feeling that like we can understand each other with this placement, but it is super light. It's definitely lighthearted. One of the negative qualities of this overlay is that there can be a lot of talking, but not a lot of like deeper connecting, depending on what else is going on in the synastry. Like this one can be too light. Like it could almost feel a bit superficial at times because you're just so damn agreeable with this person that you don't you like the people like each other so much and there's so much like enjoyment of the interaction that maybe sometimes you don't actually even share some of the more deeper things, or it's not like the passionate intensity of like the eighth house, or even like what I just talked about in the second house where there's like this feeling of like usefulness. This is such a light interplay that it's like you might miss some of the deeper things. Although if you do have other links, you can communicate well. So like you could definitely talk about deeper things, but there's just something about this overlay that it can stay light, right? It can be like one person might feel like this person is just their buddy, and then the other person might get hurt by that. Like let's say the reverse overlay is something different, like Venus in the eighth house, and then Venus is in the third house and the other overlay. Like someone could feel that they were friend zoned or something, or like it's that kind of thing can happen, but for the most part, like this is just an overlay that produces a lot of liking for each other. Like you actually like each other. It's not just this crazy wild love. You actually have a mental companionship and affinity, and you're able to communicate. And the Venus person really sees the house person as someone who can accept and understand the way that they love. And right off the bat, there can be, a lot of ease in communication. And also it's like a lighthearted, playful banter. Like it's kind of like the inner child of both people actually can come out with this overlay where there's like a flirtiness, but a playfulness, and it's a fun one. It's definitely a really fun one to have, although like on the negative side, it can be too light, or it might not produce enough emotional connection, like it's definitely more on the lighter side. And the interesting thing about third house overlays, well, I personally love them. It can feel a bit like siblings, right? There's that sibling connotation with the third house. So like you can actually feel, yeah, like more like buddies, more like siblings, more like, you know, just friends, right? Just friends. Like, you know, that hurtful phrase when someone says, I just want to be friends. Well, when you have this overlay, that might actually be taken well because you can understand that you have a great bond of friendship with this one. The other thing is that, you know, wherever Venus falls in the overlays in Synastry, the Venus person, kind of like Jupiter, but in a slightly more feminine way, blesses the house person. So the house person could feel like the Venus person is someone who's really smart or really intelligent or someone who can benefit their mind in some way. And maybe even they could be their teacher. Like the house person kind of classifies the Venus person as like this beautiful mind, right? And then the Venus person feels, you know, like the house person is sensing them in that way, so they feel more beautiful in their mind as well. So they want to share more. They want to interact more with the house person. They feel like, you know, anybody likes feeling like they have a fan club or something, right? Like, so the Venus person can feel really open and natural and warm towards the house person and kind of treat them like a sibling in a way, like where they want to look out for them and they want to help them and help their mind be at ease. So it actually could be a really beautiful one for good communication. Like if you were doing a Synastry chart session and you wanted to see if they had good communication, if you have Venus in the third house, this is a really good indicator that the people can communicate in a loving way and feel like they've got a lot out of this in the form of mental expansion and compatibility and connection on that level, right? So it kind of works out like this. It's actually one of my favorites because I have my third house in Gemini. I like people that have Venus in Gemini, and I have my Mercury in Gemini. It's a fun interplay for sure, and actually I like it on the reversal too when it's my Venus going into someone's third house. But see, I like casual types of relationships. I like all types of relationships. I like to just be friends with everybody. I've got Uranus and Neptune in the 11th house. I love to just interact with people in a lighthearted way, as well as deeper ways as well. So it depends on the type of person, whether you like this or not. You know, like a heavy water sign dominant Plutonian person maybe wouldn't enjoy having a double whammy Venus in third house overlay. Like it just wouldn't be enough, you know? But you have to look at like, what do the people like, right? Like, do they want this type of like really friendly friendship overlay for their relationship? Then you got it with this one, and it has many benefits, like I've stated. So yeah, I'd love to know your experience of this one. Have you had it? And I'm going through the houses right now. I'm doing your requests as well, so let me know if you have any other requests for me. And yeah, I do offer one-on-one sessions. My links are below. Thanks for watching. Love you guys. Bye.